We use the word generous to describe the behavior of giving more than expected. But keep in mind it doesn't equal to kindness. Because the generous people probably don't care about the shit you're expecting. Meanwhile, they found something in you in return. For example, if you're asking for lunch money on the street, somebody give you the money without return, that's because they have enough to afford their compassion. They still got some in return, they probably didn't realize it, which is feeling generous for a moment. Or avoid feeling guilty by ignoring you. At the end of the day, they don't care about your next meal. Or if you're extremely lucky, somebody give you $100, you're in tears, you don't know what to say, you thought it's real life Jim Vajam, but it most likely because they got camera somewhere. They want to get a reaction from you so they can post it online and make a living out of other people's compassion. At the end of the day, they don't care if you stay poor or not. Charity works pretty much the same. You ask celebrities to donate or act generous, you better come up with a proposal. Offer some level of exposure, make sure they get a reputation among certain people, which is gonna improve their social status and boost their business. It's funny how people know who's the anonymous donator is. And what about national aid? That's for regime stability. They spend this money to avoid bigger trouble. At the end of the day, they can't solve poverty. Until this point, at least those generous behaviors don't cause any direct harm or loss to the receiver. The harm could be society-wise, such as blind worship, at least not personal-wise. But some could be. For example, a stranger offers a kid candy or amusement park trip without the kid's parents present. Or a dude in the club buy a chick a drink. Or a rich friend pay for y'all dinner every time y'all hang out, so you build trust toward him and work for him for his startup company. He said he ain't got the money to even pay you minimum wage right now, you sacrificed, but he spent a whole year worth of minimum wage taking his girlfriend on a trip to Japan while you were working for him, and when the company made it, he kicked you out. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to fill you up with negativities because of my regretful experience. There are people being generous out of pure kindness. It's just when the generous people having too much in their pocket, it becomes hard to tell. We can't assume they're all kind just because they did us a favor. So how can you tell? Without putting people in Auschwitz, see if they share bread with each other with an empty stomach or not. It's actually pretty easy. If a person spends more money for other people than his personal desires, on his own will, that's a real generous motherfucker. You can't convince me anybody who's living in a castle is generous. That's a whole lot of desire stored inside of that bitch. After all, it's just my perspective. My point is, don't take advantage of the real generous people, because they're probably not doing as well as you are neither. And watch out for those fake generous people, because their generosity might come with a purpose.